Barbara Steele is an English actress born in 1937 and one of the earliest so-called scream queens. One of her first movies was the female lead opposite Elvis Presley in the film Flaming Star. However, after 1 week, she was replaced by Barbara Eden. Some say she was fired because studio executives thought her British accent was too pronounced. Steele says she quit over a disagreement with the director. She then went to Italy and was cast in dual roles of Aja and Katia Vaida in Mario Bava's 1960s Black Sunday. Bava had been working in movies for years, and this was his first film as a writer and director. This movie was sort of a vampire, witch, Satanist kind of thing. Bava eventually asked the actors to get rid of their fangs due to their cliched appearance, and he and Steele had a difficult working relationship. Steele said that she didn't like the fangs and had them changed 3 times. She hated her wig and had that changed 4 times. She also said that she didn't want them to tear open her dress and expose her breasts, so they got a double that she didn't like, and she ended up doing that scene while drunk. The nudity was cut out of the US release. One cast member said that Steele was a strange, neurotic person, and Bava said that she was half crazy and afraid of Italians. The film's budget was around $60,000 to $100,000. Bava based the movie on the 1835 collection of short stories named Mrdgorod. One story is about a group of students who encounter an old witch who can transform into a beautiful woman. Black Sunday was also shot partially at Castle Massimo in Arcely. Here's a quick synopsis. It's Moldavia in the 1630s, where Princess Aja Vaida, a vampiric witch, and her lover, Yevutic, are sentenced to death for sorcery by Aja's brother, Griabi. Aja vows revenge and puts a curse on his descendants. Bronze masks with spikes inside are placed over their faces and hammered in, but a sudden storm prevents the villagers from burning them at the stake. 2 centuries later, Dr. Kruvayan and his assistant, Dr. Gorovic, are traveling through Moldavia when a wheel on their carriage breaks. As their coachman repairs it, they wander into a nearby ancient crypt and discover Aja's tomb. A glass panel on the grave is there so Aja can see the cross above her, which keeps her from resurrecting. Kruvayan accidentally breaks the panel and the cross while swinging in a bat. He removes Aja's mask, revealing a partially preserved corpse. He cuts his hand on the broken glass and some of his blood drips onto her. Returning outside, Kruvayan and Gorovic meet Katia Vaida, a descendant of Aja. She tells him that she lives with her father and brother, Constantine, in a nearby castle that the villagers believe is haunted. Gorovic falls in love with her, but the 2 men leave and drive to an inn. Meanwhile, the blood brings Aja back to life. She telepathically raises Yevutic from his grave and goes to Vaida's castle, where Constantine holds up a crucifix to ward him off. Yevutic brings Kruvayan to the castle and leads him to Aja's crypt. The witch hypnotizes him and says she needs the rest of his blood. Aja kisses him, turning him into her servant. She sends him back to remove the crucifix from the room. This allows Yevutic to return safely to the castle. Aja's plan is to revive herself by draining Katia of her life, since Katia is physically Aja reincarnated. Confused to hear that Kruvayan abandoned his patient shortly before he died, Gorovic questions a woman who saw Yevutic take Kruvayan to the castle. She recognizes Yevutic by a painting of him. A priest and Gorovic go to Yevutic's grave and find Kruvayan's body inside the coffin. Realizing he is now one of the undead, they kill him by driving a nail through his eye. Yevutic kills Aja's father and backs Constantine into a trapdoor and takes Katia to Aja. Aja drains Katia of her youth. When she goes to take her blood, the crucifix around Katia's neck repels her. Gorovic tries to save Katia, but Yevutic attacks him, pushing him to the edge of the trapdoor. Constantine uses the last of his strength to pull Yevutic into the hole and push Gorovic to safety. Gorovic finds Aja and Katia. Aja pretends to be Katia and tells Gorovic that Katia is the witch. He goes to kill her, but notices the crucifix that she's wearing has no effect on her. He turns to Aja and opens her robe, revealing a skeletal frame. The priest then arrives with villagers who burn Aja to death. Katia awakens, her life restored, and is reunited with Gorovic. The ending with the villain pretending to be the non-villain has been done so much in TV and comic books that it's become a silly cliche, but this was 1960. And the whole gothic atmosphere of the movie really adds so much to it all. The movie was released under the title The Mask of the Demon, and it turned Barbara Steele into a movie star within Italy. Once released in the US, it slowly built a large fan base that still resonates today. Mario Bava later became a pioneer of Italian cinema and very influential in the horror genre. Barbara Steele was never really a fan of the horror genre, but that role led to more horror movie roles. She later said that it was very difficult for me doing all those horror films at that particular period of my life. Most directors demand excess in acting, which is fine for one take, but put together as a whole looks a little overboard all the time. She also said that Black Sunday was probably the best of that genre of film I've made, but I don't feel it was the best for me as an actress. Frame by frame it looks so beautiful, but anybody could have been playing that girl. Steele went on to act and produce many different genres of movies, but she will ultimately be remembered as a horror icon. And she seems to have accepted that, even making appearances at horror conventions to the delight of all of her fans. Good night.
Look, Andre, look into my eyes. Yes, look at me the way Vaillant did that night. And like him, lose yourself deep in my eyes. Don't you feel the joy and the beauty of hating?
Boo.